Hey everyone, welcome back to Smash Class. My name is Ramses and I'm happy to be here with you. Today we're going to be talking about strategy. You see, last couple of weeks we talked a lot about what you have to do, right? Start your combos, be in the air, do your landing aerials, do your out of shield options. This time we're going to take a step back and we're going to talk more about the strategy behind these options. So more about what situations you might find yourself in and how to approach these situations from a mental perspective. Without any further ado, let's get into this week's Smash Class. So first off, we generally divide the game into three types of situations. We look at advantageous situations, we look at disadvantageous situations, and we look at neutral situations. So these describe the advantage that you have over the opponent. So if you are in a state like the one on the screen right now, it's a very neutral situation. Neither character has the upper hand. However, if I put some percent on my opponent, if I throw him off stage now, he has to recover. He has to make it back to the stage. In other words, I have an advantage. I can stand on the ground. I have access to all my options. He has to make it back to the ledge. And that advantage allows me to capitalize and, for example, try to hit him. So that's an advantage. And advantages are pretty easy to discern. When your opponent's off stage, you have to get back to the stage. When they're in the air, they have to get back to the ground. When they're in the corner, they have less room to work with. All these options are very straightforward. What we're going to talk about first is the neutral game of Smash. So the situation in which neither character has an upper hand that is very tangible. And this is the most complicated part of Smash, which is why we're tackling it first. So the neutral game actually has various sub-situations, and I like to discern those as long range, mid-range, and close range. So close range would be when you're right next to the opponent. Most of your moves will hit, right? So I could jab him here, I can tilt, I can use my smashes, I can grab him. Almost all of my options are available. In the close range, there are so many options available to both players that it's very hard to consistently win the situation. So most of the time, the close range is designed for characters that excel there. So for example, Mario has really good options up close, so he generally wants to be in the close range. Whereas Link doesn't have the best options up close, so he'd rather not be there. So remember that close range is for close range specialists. The mid range is a little bit further up. I could hit him with the dash attack here. I could maybe hit him with a few other options like a dash grab or a rising aerial. But most of my options will not connect. This is where most of the game is played because there are a few options that are very strong, which creates a very clear set of interactions where if you have such limited options, your opponent knows exactly how to counterplay those options, which creates a very clear rock, paper, scissors system behind the situation. Mid-range is often where sword characters excel, so characters like Link who have a sword do very well here because they outrange a character like Mario who does not have a sword or a tool like that. So mid-range is very important, keep that in mind. Finally, we have a long range. So in the long range, none of my attacks will really work. If I want to hit them, I first have to get into the mid-range and then I press dash attack. Right, so in the long range, most characters rely on projectiles. So characters with strong projectile game prefer to be in the long range. So Mario, for example, can shoot a fireball and follow it and get into the close range using that. So Mario, while not a long range character because he only has one projectile that's pretty slow, he does like to be at the long range because it helps him get into the close range, where he excels. Link, on the other hand, has multiple projectiles. So he would love to be at the long range so he can throw out all his projectiles to the opponent. So as we get into the next weeks, we're going to be talking about the close range, the mid range, the long range. We're going to talk about the various advantageous and with them disadvantageous situations. But before we do that, I would like to implore you to look into your own character and think, okay, where is my character strongest? Do I have something like a sword or a whip to play the mid-range? Would I prefer to play long range with my projectiles? Or is my character really strong up close? And perhaps your character has multiple ranges at which they exceed, which is also really good. So a character like, for example, Young Link, they have projectiles, they have some moves to hit in the mid-range with like the Zair, the hook shot, and they have some close range tools as well with their neutral air, their strong out of shield options, and stuff like that. So think about which range your character excels at, and when you go into your games, try to play to the range that is most advantageous to your character. So those are the building blocks to your strategy. Think about the ranges that you can play at. Close range, mid-range, long range, and think about where your character is strong. And instead of engaging in the situation in front of you, think, okay, is this situation advantageous for me? Or should I instead try to change the situation and play from there? I hope this will help you out, and I hope that you guys will tune in the next couple of weeks as we dive further into the individual situations and help you get started with your strategy. For now, guys, of course, stay smart.